Welcome to Random Select. Please enjoy.
Hey, what's going on, everybody? This is Mario coming to you with another episode of Random Select. I'm joined by my esteemed colleagues Will, Dave, Carlotta, and Valencia. And today we want to talk about why black men make everything look so cool except for being married and having a family. And we're going to jump right into it and just ask, is this a thing or is this just something that appears to be something, and let's start off with you, Carlotta. Are black men afraid of committing? Do they have issues with settling down?
I think it's depends on where the black men are. Um, I think it's men in this country more than anywhere else. I think it's a myth that once you marry, everything shuts down. Everything becomes boring. Everything becomes like slavery, I guess. They feel that all the fun is over. The whole ball and chain thing that the white guys go through. And you know, guys avoid it because they don't know what to expect.
Okay, we're gonna bounce that question to you, David.
I don't know if Sarah think is afraid of a commitment. You might have to look at the age range also. 'Cause I know in my age person, I didn't even think about settling down until I hit about 24, 25 when I met my ex-wife. But it just depends on where you at in your life, what you're going through, or what you've seen personally in your life. If you've seen somebody committed, your mother or father, you probably want that. But if you haven't seen it, you probably want that. I do say that single life is more glamorized through the music and all the songs and the songs they played on the radio. Anyway, it's much more glamorized because you wouldn't even know a lot of people that you listen to been married for 20 years. They don't never talk about it, but they'll tell you about the club scene and all this other crap they go through every week, but they'll never mention they married, 5 kids for the last 25 years. So you look up after you look up and you realize, dang, some of you guys been married that long. So is it glamorized? Yes, but I think a lot of people like commitment. It just depends on what you seen. Basically, I see your age range too. 'Cause when you're young, man, you just want to party, have a good time. That's all you think about.
Okay. How you feel about it, Valencia?
I have mixed mixed thoughts, such as like Dave and Colada. It does depend on your age. It does depend on where you are. However, personally, I would say I think guys are afraid to commit because society, women in general, are not. We are not acting accordingly to be marriage material, so to speak. And even, it's still women out in their 40s and 50s that still want to party, that still want to live that 21-year-old life. So I feel as though no, they don't want to commit because they feel like they don't have to because how we are acting.
Yes. And actually, though, I, I said I like Valencia's point. I mean, I said 'cause as much as guys, may be afraid of commitment, afraid of becoming a ball and chain, of having a single lifestyle taken from you. I said it's hard when you go out there and you just see, you see a lot of not right out there, and you wonder to yourself, your internal thought process is, well, if I mess up and pick the wrong one, because from whatever you saw, whether you saw your parents in a good or great or bad marriage, generally speaking, everyone's view of marriage in the society for the most part is that it's supposed to be something that's a true bond. So you may go into it with the best of intentions and just get stage fright, realizing that you might just pick the wrong one and just decide, you know what, rather than pick the wrong one, I'm just going to avoid it altogether.
Okay, so with that being said, you guys make a couple of very valid points. Are we into that phase that as men where we ask ourselves, if we could drink all the milk we want, why buy the cow? Do you feel that way, Dave? That's why a lot of men don't want to settle down because it's to the point where women are pretty much doing and giving everything we ask for. So why buy the cow when you could drink all the milk? Is How do you feel about that, Dave?
That goes back to me to kind of like what Valencia was saying. Some things boil down to that's a punchline. That's some people say. People love to say, "Well, I bought a cow." We get milk for free. But if you find somebody that you find it committed to you and what you're going through as a man, you can be committed to that person. Now, I hear just chasing. If you're just chasing to have sex, that's easy. I mean, that's what you'll do. But Lord knows, even when in the era when we was chasing, we always had that woman that we could just know we could turn to, that was just a solid foundation that we can go talk to about whatever. And we might still have intercourse, but at that point in time, we weren't thinking about settling down. But as we all done, hindsight 2020, let's say lazy, you knew who that person was, but you didn't know at that time what kind of person that like, we knew you didn't know at the time what kind of person that would be until you got older. I should have settled down with her because you just saw her as a good friend or whatever. At that point in time, I got several of those. So I mean, it's to me, it's cliche to say that. I hate that phrase. Actually, it's cliche. Does it happen? It happens a lot because it's easy. I mean, getting like I told in the argument I had, getting sex from a woman is easy. Getting sex from multiple women is easy. That's it. Just depends on what you're looking for in life. That's not everybody's lifestyle. I'm not, everybody not necessarily like that, especially as you get older. Everything boils down to me as you get older. When you young, you trying to screw everybody that move. Every woman that move. That's just how it is. As you get older, you want something different.
Okay, Carlotta, do you believe that a lot of men are afraid to commit now because they feel that I could drink all the milk while I buy the cow?
Yeah, I believe so. I think it's easier for them if you're playing house, but you know that when shit hit the fan, you could just get up and walk away. Why go and put yourself deeper into something with someone that involves money and commitment that is so much harder to get out of when she'll allow you to come in and play house and walk away whenever you want?
Okay, and Valencia, do you think that's why it is that men feel, hey, I can get everything I want from her without a commitment?
Most
Why
definitely.
why settle down?
Most definitely, because see, if you don't lay the foundation at the beginning, if you just want to come in and play house and y'all hook up and have sex and he go his way, you go your way, you've already set that tone that this is how it's going to be. So it's just like the saying, what you guys say, you guys can't turn a stripper into a housewife or something like that.
Can't
So
turn a hoe into a housewife.
whatever.
Whore
Yeah.
into a housewife.
But if as a woman, if I don't set that tone in the beginning of that relationship, then hey, this is what he's going to do.
Okay, how you feeling about that, Will?
I said I kind of feel more closer to Dave's side of it than anything else. I think it's just an issue where I said it's not even about getting the milk or having the milk and not getting the cow. It's the fact that to college point, when you get married, you're going through a ceremony, you're doing this in front of family and friends, you're making a production out of it, you're making a commitment, you know, you know, at that point, in front of God or whoever you choose to worship and everything. So at that point, backing out of that isn't something you can just have an argument, pack your bag, and put in your car and leave. You have to actually do work to either keep it together or break it apart. So I just think a lot of people just happy, with the fact of, like I said, that I'll live with her, I live with him. We kick it, we're good. If it don't work out, you know, it's not like my name on the lease. I can pack my bag, going back to my mama's house, and just start back over.
Okay, now
I'm,
let me ask y'all. Go ahead, Dave.
I, that sound easy, but when your emotions get involved with anybody, whether it's paperwork or no paperwork, it ain't that easy. You may leave, but you always want to come back. You always make sure that person okay. They may or may not know it, but it's just not as easy to walk away. It might depend on your situation and what happened. Especially if she cheat. I know it's gonna sound crazy when I say this here, but a man cheat on a woman will forgive. A man don't necessarily forgive, but it hurts him. A woman cheat on a man hurt a man way more than a man will ever tell you. So that's the reason why he walking away. It's the reason why you walk away. If that's one of the reasons, he'll never tell you. He'll never tell you how much it hurt. That's why he can walk away. He'll still be careful you. He'll still love you. He'll still probably do things for you. But that commitment never come back because you cheated on him. Now it's vice versa. That's y'all fault. Y'all keep taking people back. It's just something y'all do.
Okay, and I will say this: that going back to what Dave just said, just to piggyback off that a woman and her core and her essence is 1,000 times more forgiving than we are. Like Dave said, we could be scorned and hurt by a woman and not let people know, but from that point forward, we can go years without getting another woman because of that one woman has hurt her. But nobody will never know that. We'll just pawn it off as we play in the field or we just choose not to be somebody. But you don't understand. Sometimes hurt run deep. And yes, we do a lot of damage to women and y'all hurt, but y'all find a way to pull yourself together to love again. Us,
Mm-hmm.
we'll stay
Mm-hmm.
hurt for
Let
years
me
over some bull crap.
let me say this right here. I ain't gonna say no name because everybody listen to the podcast one day. A friend of mine, we'll know. A friend of mine, old lady cheated on him. That boy was faithful to this girl. Faithful. Cheated on him with a friend that we knew. They was 93. That boy been faithful to nobody since then.
No, no. I said I co-sign that. You right. I
Since
mean,
then, I'm talking about that boy was faithful. He
but I mean,
cheated
but that
on him,
go.
and he ain't been faithful
Yeah,
since.
yeah. But and Mario, I think that goes to what you just said. I think there's a fundamental difference, and it may be part of the issue of how men love versus women. 'Cause like you said, but the guy, I said, I'll get my soapbox for a moment. I would co-sign the fact that you could say the average guy, the average run-of-the-mill guy, who you know, we're talking about the guy who don't want to commit. No, that dude is a dog because he's made a decision. He's not getting hurt, and it's going to take a lot to get behind that wall, those defenses, whatever you want to call it. But once, as a woman, once you get back there, we're done. I mean, at that point, we're all in. That's it. That's it. That's why you see so many. That's why you see so many crazy guys do. And we got so many episodes of Law and Order SVU. Cause guys lose their mind at a certain point, which they shouldn't. But once you get past all the hardness, all the everything you got to get through to get to that core, at that point you're in. And at that point, that's something that has to be, I guess the best way to say is respected. Because once you're in, like Dave said, getting out is it easy as you as even getting in was, and getting in might have been hard, but getting out is even harder.
And like you said, depending on what the mindset of the person is, for some people getting out is not even an option.
That's true.
So we're gonna move on and go to the next question here. Does the media romanticize the single man while demeaning the family man, Carlotta?
Yeah, I think so. Um, Back to what Dave was saying earlier. I saw a video with LL Cool J, and they were showing his wife and his kids, and I didn't even know he was married for so many years with these grown kids because they portray them as single guys that are always available. They never admit they're in a relationship. So I believe so.
What about you, Valencia? Does the media play a major part in and having these visions of grandeur of single men as the family man is kind of that's the ball and chain right there.
I mean,
Too
yes.
bad for you.
I mean, think about some of the movies that we look at and things like that. The single guy is epitomized, so to speak. The married guys are the ones that are in relationships. They you may see them for 2 or 3 seconds, but the limelight is taken off of them very quickly. So I agree.
Dave?
Like I said, my opinion is already clear that of course they glamorize it very much. So it's easy. It's easy to sell. They got it. They're in the market of making money off love. They feel like a woman or a man won't love that woman if she's taken. I mean, it's more so not in the past 3 years, 4 years. Like you said, you'll see an artist with a woman, say Beyonce or Jay. Hell, even the Meek Mill, what's it called thing got me thorough. Cause people normally used to even talk about it. You didn't know nothing about this, but now more people are saying it. But as we come up as people that follows careers of entertainers, you just don't know. Like I said, like a lot of said, you got people that got grown kids in college, married, they 30. You like they got kids at all. Cause they never talk about it. Been married for 25 years. Never talk about it. Cause it's sell tickets. I mean, that's the bottom line for it. They rather sell ticket than how you being loved.
So is it sort of like that trying to convince a single man to buy a sports car as opposed to a minivan?
Yep.
So, all right, Will, what are your feelings on this?
I mean, I feel as much as it is an issue that the single siders romanticize, I think it's the other part that gets me is just the family guy. Because you think about it, anything we watch, on TV that revolves around a family and has like a male character in the lead position, that family guy is always portrayed as, I won't say stupid, but not as smart as everybody else on the show. I mean,
Hmm.
from the cliche examples of Homer Simpson and Peter Griffin to even everybody loves Raymond.
Yeah, like
Shows like that. I mean, they're just depicted as they heal and they make sure things eventually work right, but it ain't because they the brightest bulb in the box. So it just, and to that point, the single guys always, from something like hangover to that point. I said the married guy who, even in my defense, I can't remember his name to save my life right now. He said he's a hangover for the first 30 seconds and the last 30 seconds. In between, he's hiding no hair from his scene at no point during these movies.
I I got bad news for you. Everybody hangover has somebody so or Wolfpack guy.
I mean, they end up with somebody, but they glamorize them being the wolf pack.
No, 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 no. They glamorize the truth, but literally, remember the film married. Everybody, other dude would date the crazy lady.
Okay. All right. All right. Let's
Hey,
keep
I'm
it.
saying that ain't quite right. That ain't quite right. But go ahead.
All right, so let's get it back on track. So, all right, totally switching gears. Is the single man view different by society than the single woman? And I'll let the women answer this. Is it, how we like to say, boy, he's a player, boy, he got it going on. But when a woman's single, it always seems like she's what she's doing to can't keep a man. She gonna be an old maid. Is it viewed differently, Valencia?
Yeah. Case in point, I think it was Dave that made the statement, when a man gets hurt, he shuts down, he won't date nobody, he can play the field. It's okay for him to do it. But if I was to do it, I'm considered as a whore, I'm bitter, I'm unhappy, I can't keep a man because of what has happened to me. So I feel as though for a woman to be single, we have to, it should be viewed through the same lenses. The standard shouldn't be so great for a man, but grave for a woman.
Colada?
Yeah, I look at the fact that when women try to do the same thing that the men do, they consider them cougars or, trying to be a bitch, or you just are portrayed, completely differently. It's cool for the guy, but never seems to be cool for the woman.
Nah,
Okay.
I'm sorry. You do know Cougar's an old woman, the older woman trying to date a young man.
I know, but most of the women in a certain age range are not trying to get the older guy. So that's why I brought that up.
Oh, okay.
All right, so Dave, how you feel about it? Well, actually, before we get into that, I just want to say that double standards is all throughout our society, and as people, and whether it's right, wrong, good or bad, we all choose to pick which double standard we want to abide by.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
You know what I mean? So go ahead, Dave.
I mean,
How do
I agree with it all. Cause like I was telling you earlier, you never heard a dad that called a single father. They're just a dad. Like they call single mothers. I ain't even knocking it. It is what it is. I personally don't even care. But it's always gonna be a double. It's a double standard. Unfortunately, that's the way it is. I don't. Mario will know my stance. Me personally, I don't give a damn what a woman do. If she want to screw 1,000 men, that's on her time. As long as she don't get nobody no diseases, I'm good with that. Do you? As long as you make it, as long as you happy, do you? It gonna be a double standard. They will call you a whore, and they will call a man a player or Wilt Chamberlain. They'll just that's what it is. There will always be. If you want to sit down and be disgusted by it, that's you. But like I tell everybody all the time, once you know how something is, you shouldn't let it bother you no more. Cause that's just the way it is. That's who that person is. That's how I look at everything. You see somebody that's kind of effed up, why can let an effed up person make you mad? Cause that's the way they are. So many double standards you can't even think about no more. Cause it's the way it go be, probably be for the rest of our lives. That double standard. You just gotta roll with it and let it be. But at the same time, you gotta just enjoy yourself. It always the double thing will be there. I mean, regardless. It's like what's that? The Happy Mother's Day. Nobody goes to the father's Happy Mother's Day. But on Father's Day, people got the audacity to say Happy Mother's Day to a Happy Father's Day to a mother. To me, that's retarded. But it's what people do though. But we don't fathers don't look for that on Mother's Day, but for some reason, single mothers look for that on Father's Day. That's kind of weird to me, and I find that to be totally disgusting. But you got to keep enjoy life, man. Just do your thing. But it's a double standard. It will always be that way. Period.
All right, Will. How you feeling about the double standard?
I mean, there is a double standard. And today's point, I said, all you can do at this point, this is where we live. Either accept it, move on, or you don't. I said, because I would never, and I would never define a man or woman as a hoe or whore, whatever, by the fact that you enjoy having sex. That's on you. As long as you're conducting yourself to where all parties involved know what's going on, and you're not just misleading people and wrecking lives, that's a you decision. Those are considered adults. You become a hoe, to coin that phrase, when you just doing stuff that's just shisty. You telling people one thing, doing something else. I said just the act of being out there. I said, play in the field. If everybody know you play in the field, and it's all above board, I'm with you. I'm with no you and Dave. Do you? I said, it's simple as that.
Okay. So with that being said, let me ask: Do people even have to get married or be in a relationship anymore to have a family, or has society become got to the point where we've accepted that a family unit consists of the kids and whichever parent that they stay with? Carlotta.
That's what it's become, at least in the black community. But I still feel family should be, two parents. Whether it be blood from same blood parents for the child or a new person coming into the marriage, but I still feel it should be two parents. But unfortunately, it's a lot of single folks raising children by themselves now.
Okay. Valencia. Let me ask you. You've done this and you're currently doing it. Is that what the family unit consists of now? The kids and whatever parent the kids stay with.
For the most part, it is. And it's sad but unfortunate. It's not only happening in the black community, but it's happening, period. Marriage is just not respected, period.
Okay. Will.
I said, I feel the same. I mean, just at this point, there's more than a few people who sit there talk about talk about it in terms of positivity that they have a baby's mama, a baby's daddy. I
Hmm.
I said I have literally lived my whole life, my dating habits, everything have been within my power. I do not want a baby's mama. I just don't. I said, because I said, once you create that bond and you create something like that, I'm sorry. If you don't like her, it doesn't matter because you are officially stuck to her to the hip until you walk through the pearly gates. Y'all are linked forever because y'all got a kid. And I said, I just don't need that in my life. So I know a lot of people think that's okay, think it's cute to have, three baby mama or four baby daddies or whatever, but I said, I don't get it.
I'm finna step outside my hosting role for a minute and say, yeah, personally, you talk about me because
Hey, hey,
I mean,
look, say I know your circumstances, so I said
Do
that
you?
don't apply
Do
to
you
you.
really?
Well, most of them.
I
Oh,
was waiting on you to say
I felt
something.
like
I really
shots
was.
were fired overhead.
I was really waiting on you to say something.
but I'm going to say I say that from the standpoint of you being one of my best friends have always told me, hey, learn
When
from
you
me.
put it, when you put it,
Learn from me. And I have learned from you. I appreciate it.
you put it.
Uh, with that being said, that's true. I preach that all the time. Learn from me. So, okay. So, how you feeling about that, Dave?
Uh, I kind of agree with everybody. It's just as y'all well know, I was raised by my stepdaddy and the lady he married, which I call my stepmom. So to me, how I don't know, a family, is the family tradition kind of gone in a sense? Yes. You said marriage is not respected. True, but marriage been 50% of all marriages been ended for years, for decades on end. It's never necessarily been respected. I think people like will say go in with good intentions, but after a while you realize, hey, I picked the wrong person. And some people just leave, just walk away. I'm going to get some milk and never come back home. Family dynamics is kind of tough. 'Cause I just grew up screwed. My whole, I got it's weird. My whole thing weird, but it's tattered for sure. How people view it and how people look at it. 'Cause a lot of people unfortunately just go in like we'll say for the sex and shit. By the time they know they got kids on the way, by somebody I don't even want to see no more, be with no more. Can't stand. I got a friend like that now. She married the guy. They don't even like each other right now, period at all. So I understand where it's coming from. I mean, it's the marriage life is definitely touted. It looked at in a very funny way, especially just not like I said, not in the black community, but in all communities. It looked at almost as a negative instead of a positive for some reason. I prefer it myself personally. Single life is good for a while, but after a while, it kind of sucks. Cause everybody want to come to somebody.
Okay. So with that being said, that's a perfect transition right into the question. As black men, do we give up too easily and walk away instead of staying and working on things and working things out? Do we give up too easily, Valencia?
Yeah. I mean, and I have to speak for my generation. You know, this generation, it's more so if it's not ABCDEFG and no roadblocks, I'm out. People don't understand that relationships, anything worth having, you're going to go through ups and downs, whether it be a job, whether it be a career, whether it be school, whatever. Relationships are the same thing. You have to work at it. And I feel because the mindset that people have, and again, I'm going back to this shacking up, playing house mentality. If people don't set the standards before they get into these relationships or even have the conversation to find out what the other party wants, then basically you setting yourself up for failure.
Okay, Carlotta, how do you feel about that?
I think the key word here is respect. A lot of people don't respect relationships. They see it as, okay, if I come over, sleep over, and I'm here, you make me breakfast. This is a relationship. And so when you go in the wrong way, it's not going to work because you never really put any work into finding out who you're dealing with. There's no respect there. And that's the problem. A lot of people are mixing up respect with shacking up and thinking this must mean something. And so when it's not going right, it's so much easier to walk away because you never respected each other in the first place.
Let me ask y'all a question, and I'll get to Dave and Will really quick. And I just want to give a little quick sidebar. Do y'all think that now it's so easy for people to move in with each other as opposed to back in the day? When you made a decision to move in with somebody back in the day, it was a decision. I've known guys who have lived with like 3 and 4 different women in the same calendar year. Do y'all find that it's easy for people to just live with each other now?
I
I think
mean, let
it's
me just
more
speak from my experience.
opportunity.
Who talking?
I, I think the
Go ahead.
economy has caused a lot of people to
Hmm.
starting to move in, not because of love, but because of the economy, and that's what is a part of the problem. It used to be back in the days where you got the guys that didn't want to work, that the girl that will take him in because she's on welfare or whatever. But now the economy's gotten so bad where people are moving in with each other in a heartbeat because it's like an opportunity to save money or whatever. So are they moving in for love or are they moving in because they want to save a dollar?
I'm sorry, are we still talking about the same black people? And you said saving money, right?
I mean, saving money where you can have extras for your stuff, for what your pleasures of life.
Oh, for your Gucci and stuff. Okay, I
Yeah,
got you.
yeah,
All right, go ahead,
yeah.
Dave.
The piggyback off something Will said earlier, uh, in that realm, some people just meet somebody and feel like this is what they want to be, but never tell the other person. And they're trying to get that person to go home. They just don't want to go home, and they tell the person they're not going home. So it's you'll be amazed how many people don't move in with somebody. See, if I tell the other person they're not going back to their old place, and they just wind up living there for a while.
First of
That's
all, let
crazy
me
as
just
hell.
let me wait, time out. Let me just go on record. Let me just go on record and just say, y'all don't know what he's talking about, but he has been a complete ass at this point. But go ahead.
That's crazy as hell. But that's no.
Oh.
I ain't gonna mention. Let me just drop the backstory to this. I ain't gonna mention no name, but a person that I was once dealing with decided that she was into whatever we had, this relationship, and decided one night as we was getting ready to walk her to the bus stop to go home, which we have done 1,000 times, and Dave just happened to be there when it happened. She just decided she was not going home. She wanted to stay with me, and she wasn't going home, and that's what he's pretty much talking about.
I'm
That
about to
boy
talk to
dirty.
you later on about this.
So it happens.
Yes, it happens, which is why I'm qualified to speak to say, look, people move in too quick. You better take some time to get to know some damn about it.
Look.
Uh,
Oh
just
God. Oh
just
wow.
just to be fair.
I mean, I'll give you that. All right, Dave. So Dave has given us his opinion on that. We putting him on mute. Your turn, Will.
Oh,
Shoot me, bro.
I mean, I agree with everything he said. So we just, the college for a lot of people, it's a combination of everything. I said people go on 2, 3 dates, hang out for 3, 4 months, and you still in that phase where everything feel good. Then it's like, you know what? I said rather than date. We just hang out and just split rent. And it's and so folks get to making
Yo,
decisions.
suck.
No, folks just get to making decisions. They say, well, should we hang out all the time since we like each other and we can pay half our bills and it'll all work out. Then you figure out that you know what, I can't stand the fact that they never put the cap on the toothpaste. Or every time I walk past the sink of dishes, it's always full. I say,
Hey,
and
though.
that.
Go ahead, Will. This is something
Oh
I
no
thought
no.
about.
Oh no. Go ahead.
I just thought about this. We all friends here. I mean, me. I'm just saying this here. Me, Mario, Will, literally have met a woman and combined and left in 6 months. No matter these people. At one point in our lives.
That's why we're all qualified to speak on this topic.
Yes, that's why we're all qualified. But for future reference, Dave, if you like just being up under the wheels of the bus, just throw yourself, not us.
Now you see who your real friend is.
Oh
I
man.
just thought about that all saying. Like, you know what? No, truth be told. We all got
All right.
together.
So let me ask the two women at Valencia. What's the quickest you've ever lived with someone? What's the quickest?
Quick as I've ever lived with someone.
Yeah, from the time you met them to the time where y'all cutting each other keys.
Damn, that's been a long time ago.
We can have.
Hell no, you crazy. About a year.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
That's about regular right there. All right, Carlotta, what about you? How long it's been, from the time you met somebody to the time y'all cutting each other keys?
3 months, but it lasted 20 years.
Oh no, I ain't
Oh,
knocking it.
well.
I ain't knocking
No,
it.
we ain't saying it don't last, but cause sometimes, good, bad, and indifferent, you learn to just deal with people, But like what I heard one comedian say, you haven't truly loved somebody till you've actually in your head planned out their murder. So
Can we go past that right now, please?
there's not a man alive that has not closed his eye to think how I could kill her.
And get away,
Vice
get away with it.
versa.
Goddamn.
Yeah, and that's what I'm saying.
Oh
I'm
yeah.
saying vice versa. Y'all thought about,
Mm,
you know what I'm
mm.
saying? Do arsenic really work like they say on TV?
Can you ask the next question, please?
Hey, how
Okay,
how long you think about
go ahead,
choosing?
Dave.
How long? How long you think about this, man?
First of all, I'm not gonna answer that question. I got 5 kids to take care of.
Okay. Second of all, is he still breathing? Don't
Yeah,
answer that question
still
either. I'm just
breathing.
asking.
Trust
Okay.
me, still
Okay.
breathing.
That must be that deep love right there.
Yeah, like this one guy said, I got one ex-wife in 5 different states.
Okay.
All right. Getting back on topic here. So, what do y'all think that might could be something that can help black men start seeing the value in being proud to have a family, being proud to be married? What are some of the steps that we could potentially take to say, hey, look, let's change this stereotype of the player. It's okay to want to settle down and have a good thing with a woman. Will?
I mean, for the most part, I think it's its own self fulfilling cycle. I think just seeing it. I mean, I say when you see functional couples, like Dave said, nobody wants to be alone. So everybody wants somebody. But if all you see is dysfunctional couples around you, then you just start saying it's not meant for me. So I just think it's seeing couples who are happy around each other, who genuinely value each other's company. And a lot of that comes from what I think the running theme of this has been like age. I said age gives you a clarity of vision that you just don't get when you're 25 that you see when you going on 40. So things just become so much clearer. Like
So
they
much
said,
clearer.
you start looking back at things like, man, I said, if 40-year-old me could go back and just tap 25-year-old me on the shoulder, I said, that'd be so many things different.
But unfortunately, 25-year-old would say, "What you gonna tell me, old man?" But okay, and this is what I like to say too. And let's just be totally honest. Not everybody's learning curve is the same, and not everybody's situation was the same. But growing up, and they can attest to this, we grew up with so many not right men or a lack of fathers around. But by the time you learn what it is to love a woman, and by the time you learn what it is to be in something committed or see something that's halfway functional, not even fully functional, halfway functional, you are long past the point of where you develop the way you see women, the way you see love,
Mm-hmm.
the way you see relationships and all that stuff.
Mm-hmm.
So now you gotta go back and reverse engineer all that dumbness you've been taught, all that dumbness you've been exposed to. So by the time we get to the point where we can love a woman right, we've done so much fucked up damage back there that the current woman might benefit from it. But think about, like we'll say, all the baby mamas that you got, or whoever done went through all this dumbness with you until you reach that point where, like you said, your light come on. And the bottom line is, a lot of men don't commit because we ain't had no blueprint to go by to show us how to do things right, how to be a good man, how to be a good father, how to love your woman right, because we just ain't been exposed to it. And that's the god honest truth.
Cause Lord knows, like we like to say all the time, in our neighborhood, we probably count 2, 3 daddies in the whole neighborhood. Period.
Yeah, yeah.
Period. And unfortunately, the one dad, the 2 dad we can't count, couldn't find out one she with the other guy wife. So you just, I don't know, depending what, like you said, depending on what you're exposed to and what you see, cause it's weird, man. I had a conversation with a coworker my other day. He's 28, and this lady offered him his number. He was like, I don't know how I should talk to her, how I should approach it. She might just want to smash. I said, well, figure out what she want, cause she work at the school. You don't want that drama. See, she's looking for a relationship. Looking for a relationship, take it. I say, if you want a relationship, take the relationship. She a good woman, good job. If that's what you're looking for, do it. But don't just sleep with her, cause you gonna be some problems, cause y'all work together. So he don't have nobody to talk to. His parents died when he was young. Both of them died in a car accident when he was young. His brother ain't taught him nothing. So all of a sudden, out of nowhere, me, like I told him the other day, we was talking about, say, from here on out, I gotta treat you like you my child. Cause that's how you ain't something in your brain not right. So I gotta now talk to you as you my son. And that's how I talk to him now. He needs somebody that he can communicate with, that can give him the guys he need. I never had that. Period. Ever.
Period. Ever.
Mario and Wiggle and Danny been my goddamn sounding board where I bounced stuff off of as I got older. And I realized I'm doing a lot of crazy ass shit. And I had to go back literally and track some people down, women, and apologize to them about a lot of things I've done and said to them over the years. Cause Lord knows the person I am now and the person I didn't used to be. And but still, I wanted some asshole chauvinist pig, but I did my thing.
Okay, real quick on a side note, I'm gonna ask the women this, and this is good, just help reinforce the point I was trying to make. Lately, or either recently, how many men have y'all dealt with that has not had fathers in their life? Colada?
that has had or hasn't had.
No, haven't had, and you'll find out that there's a direct correlation to kind of how some of us treat women. Have you found that to be the case as you dating people, or you've never tried to think about the correlation?
No, because you're gonna ask questions. I find most of them never grew up with a dad, or they grew up with
Yeah.
uncles, but a lot of them don't have dads, and that's where a lot of the issues come in with the men.
And that's the point I was trying to make. And everybody know, if you grew up with an uncle, most uncles don't treat you like they son. Most uncles
No.
treat you like like you their nephew.
Hmm.
So it's kind of not the same. What about you, Valencia? Do you find that a lot of guys that you've dated um, have not had fathers, and it kind of correlated to sometimes them not being totally where you want them to be because they just didn't have a blueprint for it?
Well, the thing about it, yes, but I hate to put this out there. My ex husband had his father, and he still was an asshole. So his dad, from the conversation he and I had, his dad was there, but his dad never taught him how to be a man, him or his brothers. Because I look at the pattern of how he treats his kids and how his brothers are and how they act. No, I mean, a man can be in the household, but what are you teaching your children? Are you giving them that foundation to be a man, to hold their place in society? So he can be there, but is he doing what he needs to do?
Hmm.
That's true. I agree with that. All right, we're gonna jump back to the question that we was asking, and I'm gonna throw it over to Carlotta. What can black men do to try to reinforce and be better at this having a family and being married thing, Carlotta?
Well, I think number one, you have to actually set an example for your children. I meet a lot of guys while I was trying to date that either they won't let their children see anybody they date, or the woman will let everybody come through and the kids see a million people. And whichever choice you make, you still have children that are not being exposed to the norm. And so we have to change what's going on at this time so the next generation will be better, because we're doing what we know and we're not setting example, which is what's creating the problem. All these single moms raising kids and all these guys are running around praising their moms, but what are the damage that was done because the dads weren't there?
Okay. What do you think could change, Valencia? What do you think that the steps that we could take as men to try to be better as far as, strengthening the way we see family and marriage?
What I would say is, and I know this may sound weird, sometimes you may have to break away from your friends that want to run to the club and do this, that, and the third. Sometimes you have to put yourself around the people that you want to be more like. That may cause you to have to go outside of your comfort zone. It may be a coworker, may be somebody at church. You have to first of all make up in your mind you want better and you want to do better. So when he makes up in his mind to do that, then he needs to put himself in that environment. I also believe that women play a role in it as well. Men can do their part, but if we are, as women, if we're not conducting ourselves the way as wife material, then that's also going to be an issue, because he can do everything under the sun. But if we not upholding, if we're not held to the same standards, then what's the point?
Okay. So basically, what you saying is, I heard somebody say one time, why don't you act the way you want to be? That then one day when you realize it, you'll be the way that you act.
True. And I agree with that. And it's something that I tell my girls, you are addressed by how you are dressed. So if you dress accordingly, you're going to attract the attention, the right attention that you want.
Okay. All right, Dave. What do you think could change?
I don't have a real answer, truthfully, because I had to approach my uncle one time before and let him know that you taught me absolutely nothing. And you saw all your nephews doing bad, and you gave us no advice, no nothing, even though you went back to school to get your degree and this and that. You never ever mentioned nothing to us about, either going to school or be a better person. Not one time, because he was still doing the stuff. It's just weird, man. Just I don't have a real answer to that, because you have to, like with me, it just happened. I saw my mom get hurt, and this is why it shocked people that I am where I am. I saw my dad cheat on my mom, my stepdad cheat on my mama, and I saw how much it hurted her. And I always told myself when I'm in a relationship, I would never do nobody like that, cause that shit is fucked up. You know what I mean? So I don't get a relationship to be in a relationship. I don't never tell nobody I'm in a relationship that that's where I really want to be. I date you forever. I could date you for a good 6 months to a year, but we'll never be in a relationship. We just dated. Unless I tell you relationship, then we'll build from there. Some people have to want to build that, and some people have to build that and want to be in a committed relationship. I always want a commitment, but I just never, I never commit to anybody. That's redundant, and I don't do stuff like that. Never have. I date you forever though. Never. Hey, I get the milk. I pull the others. I do all that, but we ain't together. It's just the way I always been, and part of it come from being, when you run the hood I was there, you saw people doing the thing they were doing. It's just par for core. But as you say, you get older, you gotta want more for yourself. As I got into my early 20s, that's what I want. I wanted more for myself, and I wanted to get married, and it just went bad. It wasn't nothing to do. Just people outgrew each other. That was all it really was. So I don't know. I can't really answer that question. I have no clue.
Okay. All right. We're gonna get ready to wrap this up, and I just want to say that sometimes age is good and it does help bring on a few lights, but y'all know, like I know, there's quite a few old fools
Oh yeah.
still running around here.
Yes, Lord.
So, so age is a good thing, but not everybody wising up.
I was real quick too. Emotionally, men have to get ready for this because we are taught not to ever show emotion about nothing, and that's the problem right there. Actually, you got to break that bondage of trying to be hard, not even thorough, just hard all the time. Men not supposed to cry and all this crap. When you built like that, how you gonna show some teach be with some? How you gonna love somebody else when you've been taught your whole life not to express love or nothing like that? You've been taught that from day one. So how you gonna grow up to love somebody when yourself has never been taught how to love somebody or how to even just love? You're not taught that as a man because that's not something you're supposed to do. You're supposed to be just hard and be a provider. That's just basically the bottom line. That's how I was raised as a provider.
And that's what I say all the time, that if you don't have a blueprint, or you never seen nobody holding hands, or you're in the hood, you just never seen a functional relationship, let's just say like Montez's mama, you know what I'm saying? In the time we've known her, she had like several boyfriends. To
Mm-hmm.
us, that was normal. And
Mm-hmm.
like we say, and I'm doing my version of the air bunnies, you know how many uncles people have had? You know what I mean? That, oh, that's your uncle, just guys that. So we never saw nothing, loving, caring, and stable, and to make you say, you know what, that dude right there is a good dude. You know what I mean? So, and then once you realize what you have been taught, you realize it was a boatload of bullshit.
Whole life. Whole life. Bullshit. Whole life.
And I don't know what the learning curve for y'all women are like that. I don't know, who y'all had in y'all life to say, hey, look, let's learn, because most girls do have their mamas in their lives. Way more fathers abandon kids than mothers do. So, I
Yeah,
mean,
but I
but
think I think women are more in touch with their emotions. We're free to show ours. Y'all are yours boxed up somewhere because everybody told you to. So we kind of, even if you don't have anybody to teach you, it kind of develops on its own.
okay, and I'll give you that, because y'all been walking around and y'all throwing pennies around each other for years. We'll never walk around now drawers around each other.
Mm-mm.
No, no.
And I think for women, we just know that, especially when there are children involved, most decent women, we make up in our mind through hell or high water, we gonna make sure that our kids have what they need and try to give them the best that we can, and try to set that example. I mean, case in point, when I date, I don't bring anybody around my children unless I know it's a possibility that it's going to be serious. I mean, hell, they don't even know I have kids unless I really want them to know, and it could be 6 months to a year before I decide to tell you.
I will say this too. This is me talking kind of off subject. Women talk too much. They tell a man so much about them. That man then becomes a chameleon and becomes what you want him to be to get what he wants. And that's why a lot of people relationships are not necessarily good, but built on the house of saying. I got a couple friends like they talk a lot, and the man just listen. He just listen to y'all talking, and he decide, okay, this is what I'm gonna do. I know she need X, Y, and Z done. This done for her to feel this certain way. This other dude did her this way, and I can do it that way. And they take that and absorb it. Like you said, don't never.
But
You
but
right.
but
I
but
was trying to tell y'all
whichever
earlier
way,
about our last podcast about y'all jobs. Y'all shouldn't tell people about that. Like you said about your kids. Same. Y'all should hold y'all income and y'all kids should be held privately to nobody know nothing about y'all. Said we showing up for the date. That's it. And that's just me talking personally. From my point of
yeah.
view,
But
that's
but if
it.
but if but if you gotta hide stuff from the date that you're looking at, if that's
It ain't even
stuff that you
necessarily
have to
hide.
hide
It's
from
not.
them,
It's not hiding. You just building up to that point. Everybody should know everything
but
about you within the first 2 3 months. You know somebody.
so you're
but
gonna
we
hide your kids for 2 to 3 months. I mean,
It ain't.
whichever
It ain't.
way,
She
that
just
sounds
said
like he
six. It
sounds.
ain't. It ain't.
whi-
It ain't
Whichever
hiding. What
way,
you?
like he's an asshole anyway, and it's gonna lead to the end, whether you go the long route or the short route. You just gotta make sure you pick the right person that is receptive of that, and that's why you sit and talk and know what they're looking for and what you're looking for.
Mm-hmm.
My
that's
the way my life is set up, I'm busy. So therefore, if I meet you today, I may not see you to 3 months later, because I'm not that person. I'm not trying to go out with you like that. I have a very busy schedule. So I may chat with you on the phone, I may text with you on the phone. And again, this one person who I'm dating now, me and him, we've been dating for like a year and a half, and he just found out that I had kids, and he did not believe that I had kids. He thought I was lying just to get him away from him, just to stop talking to him. I'm like, no, that's not the case. I'm just one of those type of people. I'm very protective because it is me and my children. I never know who's watching me and my children, and the fact that I
Mm-hmm.
have girls, I'm very funny about that. So I mean, it may be wrong to a degree, but I from when I used to date in the past, yeah, we would sit talk about the kids and this, that, and the third. With the way society is, I have to just sit back and listen at you and see where you coming from. So
Mm-hmm.
unfortunately, I'm sorry, you're not gonna know everything about me on the first 6 months. You just not. Because I need to first of all know that you are somewhat sane, and it's really no guarantee that you are sane, even with me knowing you after 6 months to a year. but I'm just doing what I think is best for me.
All right, Will, chime in on this. How you feeling about all of this? I know we kind of all over the place right now, but throw something in here.
No, I mean, I said, I agree with, the spirit of what Valencia and Dave are saying. I mean, I said before I got married. What my current wife and I, we dated 2 years. No, we were together 2 years before we got married. I mean, and we just, took time to know each other. Said, and I think there should be some sort of actual, as old folks would say, courting process or something where you're literally getting to know the person. Because I said, I said a lot of people just get through that 3 4 month period, and it's just like, oh, it's good now, it's gonna stay good. It's like, no, all as people say, is the representative. The person that done showed up, you know, dressed to a T, got the makeup done, that bought a fresh pair of shoes for the date. That person. You don't know the person who just said, no, after a year or so, I don't feel like going out. Just drop by Red Box and bring some Chinese, and
Oh,
and see how a person lives. See how their house looks. See what they look like when they're not trying to, be on the cover of a magazine. See somebody who's just closer to who their regular being is versus what you have to see out there when you're trying to catch somebody. I mean, we just don't take time to get to that point.
let me say this too. Last year, before we got married, I mean, we was talking in the apartment we stayed together. I just asked him one day. I said, "Well, how much your girl make?" He said, "I don't know. I ain't never asked her." And they were right before they got married. Something they never he ain't supposed to tell nobody just stuff. You just gotta let things be, man. If it's meant to be, it's meant to be. They gonna be there regardless. Period. You get all your information, man. Somebody stealing your identity at this point. Give not too much.
I
And to
don't
that
agree.
point,
I don't agree with that. When it comes to money, eventually you got to talk about it because you don't want to be making 70,000. They making 15, and then you
There
don't
you
talk
go.
about it until the last minute, and you
no,
realize you
no,
got to pay all the bills.
no.
So you gonna love him
Today's
less
point,
if you make 15?
If you don't
no,
ask, you'll never know. You're gonna
okay,
be
no,
waiting until when you're married to talk about how much you make.
no.
Okay,
Hold
we
on, wait,
agree.
wait, wait.
We
Hold
gotta
on,
agree. It's a preference.
Let me jump back in on this one, cause
Okay.
cause today's point. That's why I said, and I said that from the standpoint of, like I said, we dated each other for 2 years. I saw her lifestyle to see it wasn't a problem for her. It wasn't a problem for me to have to ask specifically, no, can I see your W-2? Because I see you maintain a roof over your head, you maintain a car, you're taking care of I see you have things under control. So I don't need the details of how you get under control until I see a red flag that I need to investigate. I don't need to go into, where you work, how long you've been there, this, that, the other. If I see you have things under control, and that's what I see on a consistent basis as I've been with you and as I get to know you, then I'm fine. If you go to someone's house and you see, dang, all they got is a bed and a TV, I might need to ask some follow up questions. 'Cause I might need to see what's going on with this person. Did they just move here? Are they looking to leave? Are they on the run? Whatever. Take that as you may. But that stuff you figure out during the dating process. You just don't roll up with a questionnaire and be like, "What you make? What's your tax bracket?" I said, "What's the last person you slept with?" You don't go through all that
You
because
don't you
that.
don't you don't roll up with it and ask immediately, but that stuff you slowly try to find out while you're dating. You don't wait a year to find out, what bracket do they get paid in, because but unless it doesn't matter to you. If you feel you're okay with somebody that don't make a certain amount of money, then it's fine. But if whatever your priorities, you're gonna try to eventually find out something about it.
As
Wait,
long as they ain't asking me
I
for money, I'm good.
let me jump in here real quick and say this. Dave, you my boy and I love you to death, but I believe in asking questions. Damn that. I believe in that,
Tiger Woods
especially
married
as
to
I got
Nanny. Tiger Woods married to Nanny. She wasn't making much as Tiger.
no, no, no. I agree, but I believe that as time go on, cause I mean, and Lord knows I ain't the biggest religious now, but I heard Creflo Dollar say some stuff that will make sense. You gotta ask people questions because you can't never get to a point where you go, I ain't never asked that question. And sometimes we get way too deep with people, and then we say, by the way, before we co-sign for this, You still married? And then you find out, well, that kind of funny. Yeah, I am still married. We gotta ask
No,
questions.
that's different. I can't be married. I would date about as
No, but
married. Period.
you'll
That's
be
different.
amazed at what people don't ask
No,
people
no,
though.
no. That's different. Oh,
Okay, I'm just saying you'll be amazed. And at some point, right? If you feel like you at Carlotta them stage of our age at 40 something, right? You dating a younger person, you already feel like you've been towing up this hill. You got up a certain point. You don't want to go back down the hill for somebody to make it 15 though. They do you?
Crickets.
No, but okay. All I'm gonna say at
I
this
don't
point
know. Is
is
it
no.
15
Wait,
and ask me
wait.
for money? Only that. Long as you're not asking me for money to support your
See,
lifestyle, we can come together and work anything. Cause again, they can be the next month. They can get a promotion, making what I'm making. It's
They
just I
could
don't know.
be, but
I'm
sometimes you
I'm
never
built
get to that
different, man.
point.
I'm
No,
built different, man.
I know you built different, but what I'm saying is, once you've done a certain amount in your life, Dave, or been, had certain parameters put in, it's hard to say that you, you. I'm telling you, they will cause issues more than you know. It would cause issues.
no.
I'm
So it
I'm gonna
causes
say I'm
issues.
saying I'm talking from experience. I met somebody that make $55,000, but they had so much child support that and so much garnish from owing bills because they messed up their credit that they had nothing left. No, in about 2 months, I realized that wait a minute, they got financial issues. They're always broke. They get paid, but they're not bringing nothing home because everybody's taking out of it before they get it. And that's what I'm saying. You kind of have to talk to people to
But you saw he
figure
was
out.
broke though, right?
He was broke because of everybody garnishing in
But
the
I'm
child
saying
support.
though, did you have to ask him why he was broke? I mean, did you ask him he was broke, or you
Yes,
noticed that
that's
he was
how
broke?
he explained the stuff to me.
But
Eventually,
then
he got
we'll just
comfortable.
say though, but then we'll just say if you go in there and you open up the cabinets and you see, all the cabinets got,
But
Roman
that,
Roman
noodles or
but
noodles and
that's
something.
the thing. That's the
He
thing.
asked questions.
That's the thing. The furniture was nice. The car was nice. The house is nice. But by the time they paid the rent, there was nothing left. So once I realized what I was dealing with, I made the choice to walk away because if you can only pay your rent and there's zero left, can you deal with that relationship? I understand some men don't mind taking in women and taking care of them, but from a woman's point of view, I'm not going to bring a man into my world that can't help me pay a bill. Might as well just get another kid because that's a burden right there.
All right, all right. We getting to that point where we got to wrap it up. Valencia, give me a final word on what we've been talking about today.
Ooh, we talked about a lot.
I mean, just wrap it up however you see fit. Cause you're right. We long since from black men settling down in families.
Overall, overall, man, I mean, the thought process has to change for men to, if they want to settle down, then they have to take the necessary steps. And when I say take the necessary steps, sometimes it takes you just looking into a different environment, putting yourself in a different environment to try to become a better person. Uh, I'm sorry, but I just feel like my generation and younger women, we are not respecting ourselves. We don't. Some of us don't even want to be a wife, so to speak. We're so consumed with how much money you made, what kind of bag he can buy me, this, that, and the third, to the point where marriage is just lost and disrespected. So I think that cultural wise, men and women, we both have to do better in order for the marriage and the family to work.
And that's something we didn't even touch. Period. That we keep looking at it from the man's standpoint. There's a lot of women who don't want to settle down and
And
get married either.
trust me, I have a relative that's been with an individual for 12 years and they like, you know what? We good. We don't have to get married. And I'm like, uh, okay, you like it, I love it. I'm not gonna knock you against it, but what if your children decide to get married, or you know what I'm saying? What do you tell them? And that's something that's one of the main reasons when I date, I've just committed. The only person that I'm bringing around is going to be my husband. If he's not my husband, he can't come around because when my husband come in, he's gonna have to set the foundation for my boys and for my girl.
Okay. All right, Dave. Wrap it up for us.
Again, I can't tell you how to make it better. I can't say that up. You build together. Period. You don't see what you don't. He ain't got enough Legos over here, so fuck his Legos. I'm gonna play the person that got bigger Legos. You build together. If you're not building together, then you live in a separate life anyway. I don't know how to make the black man be more faithful. I can't tell you that because it's an individual thing. I chose to be faithful to the person. No, I can't say this for everybody. So I can't make that comment. I can't tell you how to be. I Lord no, I can't tell my be a better dad. I guess I probably could. I probably could. But I just can't. I look at things from a relationship point of view. To me, a relationship is people getting together and building together. I can't see you have less and say since you have less, we can't build together. Because I'm here with you. We gonna go through ups and downs together regardless. So I'm here to build with you regardless. Kids, everybody know got kids, so I can't even, well except the one I'm with. So I don't know. I'm again. I'm built different. I'm a different breed. I look at things so much different than I look at now than I used to look at things. And I just know when I was at my lowest, I had people. I had a woman that her lifestyle was way richer than mine, but she was still with me, and it was never a problem. We just me. It was an emotional problem on my end. So I don't know. I don't know what to say, man. Wrap it up. I don't know what to say. I'm finna go. I'm finna go on some tirade. So I'm gonna go wrap it up and let it be. Go ahead. Go
Thank
ahead.
you. We as other panelists appreciate that. All right, Kalata, take it home for us. Kalata?
Oh, yeah, I think, and I'm talking about the women that really want to settle down, because I'm not gonna say all women that just running loose looking for pocketbooks. Okay, I think the men need to start manning up and start doing what they're supposed to do. It's so easy to run away from every damn thing and move on to the next one, and that's why we have a million people with a million babies out there, because nobody is putting any effort in and work into trying to make relationships work. So that's the issue right there. Work on your relationship. Stop running around dipping your dick in everything that moves, and start focusing on working on your relationship and take responsibility for the kids you create.
All right, then. I don't dip, I thrust. But Will, come on, bring it home.
I, s- I got two things. One, to to anybody, male or female, I said, you only catch the fish you put the bait in the water to get. So if you as a woman putting bait in the water to where you think a guy bringing you flowers is quote unquote thirsty or, or some lame dude, then when you put your bait out there and get the dope dealer, hey, be happy. That's the bait you put out there for the guy. If you putting out bait and every time you see a tight skirt walk by, you like, shoot, I'm gonna get her a bag, I said, I'm gonna take her shopping. That's a you issue. I said, learn how to fish with the bait you want to catch something for. And if you get something you don't want, throw that trash back. I said, there's no sense in settling. Life is too short to be with something you don't want to be with. I mean, it is. I said, I, I've dated a few people before I got to where I date my wife. And you get 2 or 3 days in, it ain't working out. Hey, look, it's been nice. Peace. It's over. Done. Say, call it a day. And to answer the overall question about the black man, and how to make that look different, as far as marriage and family, it's just gonna be time and to what you, Mario, and Dave said, examples. I think, the three of us, we're gonna show our kids, the people around us examples of how black men will be in a functional relationship. That's what we're gonna do. I mean, at this point, that's what we're gonna do, and it's gonna start from us, and it's gonna go down to our kids, hopefully to our grandkids, that they get to see those examples of, oh, this is what a family, in our culture is supposed to look like. It's not supposed to look like, my mama got 3 babies, dad isn't worried about getting child support checks. Or they supposed to be, they look like my uncle that don't want to deal with his baby mama because she crazy and sitting outside his bushes at night. It's not supposed to look like that. It's supposed to look like what Uncle Mario looked like. It's supposed to look like what Uncle Dave looked like, or Uncle Will looked like, or in that case, what my dad looks like. It's supposed to look like that. So I just think it's examples. Once you see it, that's something you can go for too.
All right. Well, once again, we had a really good show. And I just want to tell everybody thank you for tuning in. We appreciate all the love on Twitter. We want to try to get everybody to go to the website because the panelists are putting up some extremely great blog posts. William and Carlotta and Dave and Valencia. So keep checking back with that. And once again, the website is therandomselect.com. We're also on Twitter at randomselect with 2 T's at Twitter. You can also leave us an email at randomselect@gmail.com. We also have it where when you go onto the site, if you like any blog post, you like any podcast, you can share it to whatever favorite social media site you like. So you could tell somebody who love it as well. And once again, I want to thank all the panelists on today's show. I guess at some point we got to stop calling them panelists because they're regulars or they're not panelists anymore. I want to thank Colada. I want to thank Valencia. I want to thank Will. I want to thank Dave. And with that being said, y'all, Random Select is out.
You have been listening to Random Select. Thank you. Goodbye.